What's up, friends? Welcome to Web3 Academy, a place for entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers to explore and learn how to use Web3 to transform business models and create thriving communities. Enjoy this next episode.
Welcome. What's up, doers and Web3 Academy? Welcome to the weekly Rollup, fourth week of February 24th, coming at you live from the Web3 Academy Discord. I am Jay Hamilton, currently in Whistler, Canada, where I am an entrepreneur, community builder, and always aspiring to be an expert marketer. This week, I am grateful for my fiance. My fiance helped build a new website, which we'll tell you guys about later on in this podcast. Super fired up about that. So grateful to Sam. She's an awesome partner.
Love it. What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Reedhead. I'm coming at you from Medellin, Colombia. I am an entrepreneur, founder of Impact Digital Marketing, and now founder of Web3 Academy. Now that it's live, we can say that as well. I am grateful for our team at Impact Digital Marketing. We have a team of some incredible talent from all around the world, and they have all kind of banded together over the last few weeks to help us get this Web3 Academy off the ground. And today was finally the day that we got to launch it. And it's exciting stuff. And the team has been amazing, so much support. And so just super grateful to have them to help out.
Love it. Shout out Joe, Kate, Ari, Jeremy, Thomas, Art, James. What up? We love you. I hope I got everybody.
So who did you miss?
All right. Well, stoked to be coming at you guys with this week's Rollup. There's never a shortage of new news in the Web3 world. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Already got a news item number one up here.
Whoa. What about the Web3 word?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah. Kyle, sorry. Jeez. What is the Web3 word of the week?
A little brain fart today there, Jay. The Web3 word of the week, I think this is one I struggled with. It's funny, now that I know that I have to do this, I thought about it all day, actually the last couple of days, I think. And I battled with a lot of different words and emotions, but I came with, the word today is hope. And the reason I say hope is because our world is a disaster right now. It's an absolute disaster. Today, obviously, we have the big announcement of Russia invading Ukraine. So we have a potential war coming in here. We have just protests happening all over the world. We have insane inflation, just like everything that can, well, not everything that can be going wrong is going wrong, but the world really is a disaster over the last 2 years, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And if it wasn't for Web3, to be honest, I wouldn't have a lot of hope of things getting fixed. I just think we're in this really weird place in our world where a bunch of boomers are just still living in the old school life. And, we've just gotten to this very centralized world where a small amount of people are making decisions that affect billions of people in this world. And unfortunately, it's affecting people in incredible ways, like what we see what's happening today. And I just don't see an end to that, except for crypto and Web3 and the tools that these things provide and allow us to sort of reorganize and sort of restructure, whether that's our governments or our businesses or just how we make decisions in the world. And I don't know exactly yet how Web3 is going to do that. I don't think any of us do, but I think it's a technology that has the ability to fix that or to improve on that anyway. And I think we'll see that pan out over the next coming years. So honestly, if there wasn't Web3, I don't know where the hope would come from. So I still, as much as there's a lot of negativity right now, I have some positivity as a result of Web3.
I love it. So everybody out there, when you're feeling despair, when you're feeling lost, when you're feeling down, turn to Web3. Web3 is the savior of us all. I can't believe how many times I've actually heard that in the last, I don't know if everybody's feeling the hope vibe right now, maybe, because I've heard on so many podcasts I've been listening to, so there's this feeling of like, where are we going? What's going on? But a real sense of hope that's coming from Web3. You nailed it. Good word, Kyle.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love it. All right. Well, let's jump into the roll up for this week. I've got Pomp up here on the screen, a little tweet coming from him. Kai, what you got for us here?
Yeah, so this goes right in line with what I was just talking about the hope side of things. So obviously, if anyone's been paying attention to the news, a lot of disagreements going on in Canada at the moment between the government and its citizens. And the government decided to take some action and with protesters that's happening there. And they did two things. One, they put a lot of people in jail. And then two, they started freezing bank accounts. And so one of the things they decided to do was try to freeze not just bank accounts, but also crypto accounts. And so if they go to centralized exchanges, they can, tell, I don't know, a ShakePay or a Coinbase or whatever to block someone's account, right? And so they were doing this with some of the protesters. And so there's a company called Nunchuck, which is a self-custody wallet. So basically it's not a centralized exchange. It is just basically you hold your own private keys on the blockchain. And the Ontario Superior Court of Justice is what Pomp is tweeting out here. The Ontario Superior Court of Justice asked this self-custody wallet provider Nunchuck to disclose their user information and freeze the specific user's Bitcoin. And here's the response. Can you scroll down just a little bit there? I'm going to read this response. So here's the response from the Nunchuck team to the Ontario Superior Court of Justice. Dear Ontario Superior Court of Justice, Nunchuck is a self-custodial, collaborative multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. Our software is free to use. It allows people to eliminate single points of failure and store Bitcoin in the safest way possible while preserving privacy. We do not collect any user identification information beyond email addresses. We also do not hold any keys, and therefore we cannot freeze our users' assets. We cannot prevent them from being moved, and we do not have knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you too. Sincerely, Nunchuck team. Absolutely incredible response. And honestly, probably a rude awakening for the governments here saying, wow, what the heck is this? Didn't really realize what's going on. And this is what I mean by the hope of Web3. Whether you agree with the protesters or whatever's going on, doesn't really matter. It's the fact that one government or one organization or one person just can't freeze your assets because they don't agree with whatever it is you agree with, right? And so absolutely love to see this. This thing went viral all over Twitter, and pumps me up to see that.
I'm not even going to add anything to this one. This one's just this is a pure mic drop to Nunchuck. Exactly. I got nothing. Well done.
Also incredible marketing play by them, right? Oh. Like, I think they wrote this and they were like, let's screenshot that, get that on Twitter. This thing's gonna go viral for sure. And it did.
The transparency, share it all. I think the one line that I just love is this is by design.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So intentional. Exactly. This is all the reason we're doing it. Okay. What we got next up here?
Yeah, so this is the U.S. moves to regulate cryptocurrency. Biden to issue executive order this week. So Andrew Yang actually announced this at ETH Denver last weekend. And the reason that I brought this up, although it's not technically Web3, this is something we've been waiting for in this industry for a really long time. There are a lot of companies that are big organizations, governments, et cetera, that are sitting on the sidelines with crypto. They're not sure if they should be building in crypto and creating companies and apps. They're not sure if they should be investing in crypto, putting it on their balance sheets, et cetera. And the reason is because we just don't know what the rules are, right? If all of a sudden, these things get banned or whatever, well, they just put a lot of effort, a lot of time and money into something that, could make them go to jail or something. So let's put it this way. Some people in the Web3 world have wanted regulation. Some are like, we don't need government. We don't need regulation at all. Let's just never even deal with it. But those who kind of really understand where this is going, like we're definitely going to get regulation. It has to be regulated in some way. And just, we need some clarity so that the big companies and big people know what to do. And so last week, I believe it was, Biden announced that the regulation is not coming this week, but basically he's issuing an executive order so that all the regulatory bodies like the SEC and the CFC and whatever the heck else they are, I don't even know all the names, but basically they have to come up with regulation in whatever period he decides. So 2022 is going to be the year of regulation. We'll see if it's good or if it's bad. I don't know. If it's good, then this means a lot of money can come into the space. And yes, that's great for everyone's bags and whatever. More importantly, it means we have a lot of funding. And with that much money coming into the space, as prices go up, what that means is we can hire more developers, we can get better people into the space, and we can really build the dream of Web3. It's harder to do that when prices are down, when we don't have as much investment coming in. So this could be really, really good. If the regulatory environment goes bad, it could mean that a lot of crypto is going to move, and Web3 is going to move elsewhere. Maybe it's Europe, maybe it's emerging markets, who knows? Whatever countries are going to be friendly to crypto is where people are going to go. So this is big. This is going to be a lot of news over the next year, I think. And so I'm sure we will be covering this a lot.
Yeah, the things that stand out to me here are, first, this is the time when we need to be educating the masses, because when regulation is being discussed at the level of the government, well, that's when you as an everyday voter have an opportunity to be a part of that. You might feel disconnected from that, but you need to be sending an email to your local representative, whether it be municipal, state, federal, however, in whatever way you can make your voice heard, now is the time. And we need to talk about this more because it's happening. And I think that's the key thing that you said, Kai, is it's coming. So let's be a part of it, as opposed to being blindsided by it. Now let's be prepared. And I think so along that note, a couple people that come to mind that talk a lot about this, Chris Dixon over at A16Z talks a lot about regulation. I believe, I can't remember what the URL is off the top of my head, but A16Z has a page where they are constantly releasing reports about how we should be regulating in the US. A16Z being a American organization, they want to see all of their projects stay in the US, right? They don't want that funding to go elsewhere. So get involved, take a look at Chris Dixon on Twitter, if you're not already following him, take a look at A16Z, and let's be a part of this regulation.
The other thing I would say is Lobby 3, which we mentioned last week, which is Andrew Yang's new DAO. Their entire purpose, Lobby 3, is to go and lobby in DC. And so basically what he said is their entire roadmap and mission right now is, once the regulatory bodies start to put out their frameworks, they will be going, well, they already are, but they're going to them all right now, and they'll be educating and speaking and being part of making this regulation. And so anyone can join that DAO. I think it's lobby3.io. And you can help in any way, whether it's boots on the ground, whether it's by, donating, whatever. But Lobby 3, I think, is going to be a big player in this as well.
Totally. And a little bit of self-plug. If you're not already following Web3 Academy on Twitter, that's our new Twitter account. We will be educating constantly. So that's another place where you can stay up to date.
Absolutely. Web3 Academy _
Shameless plug. This is a list of companies currently hiring for crypto jobs. And what stands out about this list is these are all Fortune 50 companies. Like, these are the biggest companies in the world that are hiring crypto jobs. And we use the word crypto interchangeably with Web3, right? So these guys are hiring Web3 jobs. We have the list up here. I'm just going to read it out quickly. We've got Nike, Hulu, Visa, Meta, actually called Facebook, Apple, Nvidia, Disney, PayPal, Google, Fidelity, Amazon, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Mastercraft, State Street, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America.
MasterCard, not Mastercraft. Although maybe they're going to go and hire crypto too.
I like boats better than credit cards. So,
but yeah, incredible list. Holy. And I mean, this list is not exhaustive either. This is just some of the biggest names in the world. So it's happening.
And I think what's fascinating is this list doesn't highlight within Web3 what are these roles. So, Kai and I have been looking at a few of these. We saw that Disney, for example, is hiring an NFT leader, which makes sense for Disney. Disney is a massive brand creator of brands, right? And what is an NFT key tactic? It's a branding tactic, really. It's just a way to give more value to your brands, right? So it's amazing to see within these the different focuses that everybody is taking. All right, Visa on here is focused more on the crypto side, obviously, right? And they've got a head of crypto, so it's interesting to see the different angles you come at, and it makes you just realize how big the space is and how fast we're moving.
Absolutely. Web3 is going to seep its way into every industry and every business, into every corner possible in this world. Okay, we got OpenSea. So this one was a little bit of a scare. Luckily, nothing happened to me, and actually not as bad as we originally thought it was. I think it was Friday or Saturday. I can't remember, but I jumped onto Twitter and a phishing hack started happening in NFTs. People went on to their wallets and noticed that their NFTs were gone, and like big NFTs, like Bored Yacht Clubs, and I think there was a CryptoPunk and a few, like there was a bunch, and it was just happening rapid fire, like live, like people on Twitter were just kind of like live tweeting, like what's going on? Like, oh shit. Cause you can watch their wallet, right? You can just look at the hacker's wallet and see what he's stealing and what he's doing. This guy was like stealing NFTs, sending some NFTs back to the people he was stealing them from. He sent like 50 ETH to like one random influencer on Twitter. Like I don't know what he was doing. But anyway, it was like millions of dollars worth of NFTs and crypto. Not a good look for the space. But just to be clear on what happened here, it was not, they all thought it was at first like an issue with the smart contract on OpenSea. It was not. It was a phishing attack. So meaning what happened here, I'm going to give a little lesson on security, I think, was basically leading up to this day for the last like couple months, whoever this hacker was had some sort of site or pop-up or whatever that made it look like, I think it was an email actually, it made it look like it was from OpenSea. And if you clicked on it, it asked you to sign a transaction from your wallet, and people just blindly did this. They didn't really realize what it was doing. This is also one of the issues of crypto right now. And so people were basically signing a contract that said that this hacker could basically do whatever they wanted with their wallet or with their NFTs. And so he basically collected a bunch, and then on one day he just kind of, boom, took them all at once. And it was like within a couple hours or something. So how are they going to fix this? I don't really know. There's been a lot of, talk about what they can do here. But the key thing is this. So by the way, even if you had a cold wallet, like a hardware wallet, like a Ledger or a Trezor, he still could take it, which is kind of crazy. So because it was like, he was basically just listing them and selling them on OpenSea. So here's kind of the one way to make sure that this never happens. You should have two wallets always. You should have a front-facing wallet that you interact with applications, okay? And this can just be like a MetaMask wallet. Doesn't need to be a cold wallet, but just a MetaMask browser wallet. And then you have a cold wallet. So get a Ledger or a Trezor. And what you do is every time you're going to interact with something on the blockchain, you use your front-facing wallet. That's where you sign transactions, you do everything. When you buy something or you have a lot of value, you then transfer that over to your cold wallet and you just leave it there. But you never interact with OpenSea or Uniswap or any single protocol ever. You never sign a transaction from your cold wallet other than to send back and forth to your front-facing wallet. If you do that, you will never have an issue and you'll be fine. I'm sure they will come up with many better ways to do this. That's a little bit complicated at the moment, but right now it's kind of the best we have. So I highly recommend, if you don't, get yourself a Ledger and set yourself up that way. Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, this isn't a scam that's related to Web3. Phishing attacks are a scam that have been happening for forever, right? Ever since the internet, right? There's going to be fraud always, unfortunately. I wish we could figure out a way to eliminate those goddamn suckers out there who are robbing us, but We'll get into that on another time. One of us can rant about those people.
The problem in Web3 though is that once it's gone, it's gone. There's no like in the in the banking world, someone steals your credit card or whatever, they just print more money and they just say, here, we'll give you your money back, whatever, and they take the loss, and it doesn't matter. It matters here in Web3. This is real stuff.
All right, so from a little bit of a negative of OpenSea, let's jump over to, this is another OpenSea.
Yeah, this is another one.
The rundown. Yeah.
We can probably skip this. It's a little bit technical, and honestly, I don't really understand it enough. But Nadav Hollander, I think is how you would say his name. If you're on the podcast right now and you're not watching, he's the one that wrote this. I believe he's the CTO of OpenSea. He had a good little thread of just like what happened and what they can do next. So check him, follow him on Twitter if you want to learn more about it. He's the CTO of OpenSea. So if you're in NFTs, you probably want to follow him anyway.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can find this link in the show notes.
Right.
We got your boy Raul next up.
Yeah, this was an interesting little thread. Raul loves to create amazing threads on Twitter. If you don't follow Raul, pal, you need to do this. So what he was looking at was, he's a macro investor, by the way. And so he was looking at the adoption of digital assets through Google search, like Google Trends. Okay. And so he's just comparing Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then Web3 and NFTs and so on, and just looking at how are we doing here? And he likes to look at this and compare this along with like prices and just to see like where is the space going, what's popular and whatever. So on this, if you're listening on the podcast, he's got a couple charts of each Google trend here, and you can see Bitcoin went up back in 2020, and then it's kind of just ranged for the last like year. No, this is on the right there. It's just kind of ranged for the last little while. It hasn't really seen any increase in adoption. So if you scroll down, that's the first one. We look at ETH. If you want to click on the picture there instead of just showing, because it's not showing the full image here. Yeah. So similar to Bitcoin, where it started to take off in 2020, but then as we look at the last year where Bitcoin was kind of ranging, Ethereum is still trending upwards. So we see that it's decently strong, is what Raul calls it. Looks like there's still some interest in ETH or Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, which sort of died out about a year ago on this trend. Then we look at DeFi. So decentralized finance. These are the money Legos or the money apps that are built on Ethereum and other layer 1 blockchains. So it took off back in 2020, I believe, and then has basically ranged for the last like year. Seen a little bit of a trend upwards, but not much. So almost looking stagnant, similar to what Bitcoin has as well. And then we look at NFTs, and this is where we start to see some serious Web3 adoption, where I believe it was in 2021 is where this started to really ramp up.
Just
and then hold on, we're just waiting for
flat line all way, nothing.
Well, it's because NFTs didn't exist back in, pre-2019. I mean, I guess they did, but no one really cared about them. And then you look at the last year here, and it's just exponential growth. Now it's dropped in the last like month, but I think that's probably because, one, just NFTs in general have kind of dropped in the last month, but I think it's because this month isn't over. So that's why it's not, that's why it looks is a little bit more there, but you can see NFTs are just taking off, and I don't think it's anywhere close to being done. So NFTs seem to be the one of the big trends right now in this space. And let's look at the last one here of Web3. If we click on that image, then we see something very similar to the NFT chart, which, it was kind of basically nothing for the longest time. And then just over the last year here has just completely taken off and is just accelerating and continuing to, and still loading up here. Yeah. So we see almost the exact same trend as NFTs. So yeah, just absolutely taken off for the last few months. Now, this is a good thing. This is the last one. You don't need to click on any other ones, but the good thing about this is crypto, that word, has kind of a bad reputation, especially with governments. And honestly, a lot of people, I think it's just kind of made a bad name for itself for the people who don't really understand it. And so Web3 is a much more inviting name, and it just kind of makes sense to people. And it's like, well, who doesn't want to support Web3? It's just the next iteration of the internet. Of course, we want to support the evolution of the internet, right? So it's a much more friendlier term to governments, to regulators, and just to the masses, I think, the mainstream public. So it's nice to see this. I would bet that this chart also just continues to go up and up and up as well. That's why we started Web3 Academy. Very bullish on Web3.
I'm shocked you didn't give a little bit of a plug for your boys over at Real Vision here with Raul on the screen.
Just skip to the next one. You don't need to exit out of that, Jay. But yes, actually, if you do want to watch some amazing content, Real Vision is like the Netflix of crypto / Web3. And so it's free, all their crypto related stuff. And they just interview some of the incredible people in this space. I get a lot of my information from there. I highly recommend y'all go there too. Y'all, you hear that? I said y'all. I'm talking like Jeremy.
You turning American now?
Yeah, I think so. So this one, we got Puma.ETH. So Puma has changed their Twitter name to Puma.ETH. And one of the things that when I talk to companies about how to get into NFTs, and one of the recommendations I have, especially if you're a big company, is you need to join the NFT or the Web3 culture, right? You need to join the crypto culture, and that really gets people on your side. People don't want big businesses coming into this space and just selling NFTs to make some money. But if you come in, you support the revolution, you support the technology, and you support the people can get behind it. Adidas did an incredible job at this by first coming in, and they changed, I don't know if they put a .eth, but they bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club. They really started like engage in the community. And then they started like partnering with big people in the community. And then they launched NFTs, and they made like 30 million bucks or something like that. So Puma, I'm going to assume, this is just my guess, and I'll put on the record, they're going to launch an NFT in the next, let's say 60 days. And I think that's why they changed their name to Puma.ETH. It's kind of a signal to the community that, hey, we're here, we support, and we're probably going to do something in this space too.
Is there a throwback to the fact that Puma and Adidas, if you guys don't know that story, Puma and Adidas were started by brothers way back in the day, and it was actually one company, and then they split, and that's how Puma and Adidas became two separate companies.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
a great
cool,
story. I'm trying to remember where I learned that. Yeah, incredible story.
We need a book. Everyone
thinks that Adidas is that it's all day I dream about sports, when actually Adidas is short for Adi Daz. That was his nickname, the founder of Adidas.
You got all the cool facts, eh?
Yeah, and then Puma was his brother. Yeah, crazy. So anyways, both now, generations later, still doing the same thing, still following the Web3 trend at the same time. Good to see.
That's amazing. That's so funny.
And I think you bring up a really interesting point about culture, because that is really what is happening with Web3 that is so fascinating and giving so much hope, is that it is so much more than just a new technology. It's an entire new culture. It's an entire new way of really arranging human coordination, right? And when you have new human coordination, it enables the impact on community and the impact on culture, which I think is what really gets us so fired up on a regular basis. This isn't just about making money. And a lot of people think that, right? Like, don't get caught up in thinking that Web3 is just crypto and investing and making money. It's so much bigger than that. It Absolutely. Is a deep cultural movement.
Absolutely. So this is Brian Armstrong, and this is basically his story about, so Brian Armstrong, by the way, is the founder of Coinbase, the largest crypto exchange. And so they did the Super Bowl ad where they had a QR code that was bouncing around the screen for, I don't know, was it a minute, 30 seconds?
30 seconds,
30 seconds, yeah. And I think they spent $16 million. I don't know if he says it in here, but $16 million on literally, didn't even have their brand logo. Maybe it was at the very end, I can't remember, but it was just a QR code bouncing around the screen. But when you scanned it, it took you to their site and you could like join and get a chance to win, I don't know, a certain amount of Bitcoin or whatever. So this is just a really cool thread and his thoughts on how they came up with it. And basically TLDR, if you want to like do it all, go check out this thread. But basically it was, they had a bunch of agencies that I guess pitched them, and it was all the typical, like get a big celebrity, do the, whatever, the typical stuff that you see in Super Bowls. And they're like, nah, we want to do something different. We really want to do something different. And so it was like basically getting down to the wire. And I think he says they only had a few weeks. We were running short of time, a few weeks. And it was actually one of their original ideas was to do this QR code, but they sort of just put it on the side. And so they had a few weeks left to figure this out and not waste the whatever millions of dollars they spent on this space. And so basically they just said, screw all the agencies, and they just made this QR code random thing. And they said, let's just go for it. And it worked amazing. I think we talked last week, and I think they went from like 200 and something downloaded on the App Store to like number 2 within like minutes. So it was pretty incredible. But a cool little story if you want to go and read it and just see the inner workings of the largest crypto company, well, one of the largest crypto companies in the world.
And also a really great reminder of the power of guerrilla marketing and creativity. I don't know if I would necessarily consider this guerrilla marketing. They did purchase a Super Bowl ad. So, but there's a crossover here. And I think that in business sometimes, when we're trying to grow and attract new customers or get new sales, we get caught up in trying to spend too much money on only the traditional ways. Like if you just sit down and get creative and think about what are the things that you can do that are more scrappy. There's the great story of Reddit versus Dig back in Web 2. And why Reddit won versus Dig was because Reddit was, Dig was VC funded, hugely backed, had all the money, had a massive team, was ahead of Reddit, right? But Reddit won, even though it was just a couple guys and working from home. And the reason they won was because they were scrappy and they were using guerrilla tactics, and they were doing things based upon, and they were also based on the community, whereas Dig lost sight of the community and started to focus on right. The VC funding too much. So, get scrappy in your business, get creative in your community. Don't be shy to do some guerrilla stuff.
You can see there that Brian says that constraints breed creativity. And I love that. It's like humans do amazing things under pressure. If we're not under pressure, we tend to not do as well because we just don't really need to. But under pressure, our brains kind of go into this like hyperactive mode, and we can get shit done a lot faster. We can kind of get outside the box and do these things. And so, that's sort of the scrappy mentality, and it makes you do some pretty awesome things, as we saw with Coinbase's ad.
Yeah, good reminder for all of us.
Yeah, so we don't talk about the metaverse a lot yet, but I'm sure we are going to talk about the metaverse a lot in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever. But here we have Ubisoft announces, which is $1 billion gaming company, that they believe that the metaverse is the next stage of gaming. And this is we've had a ton of the big gaming companies talk about the metaverse and talk about NFTs and how they're going to use them in games. And there's a lot of people who talk about just how gaming, the metaverse, and then like social are all sort of merging into one. And that's really what the metaverse is going to be, is sort of like we are socializing with others. And then at the same time, we are working and doing whatever we do there. And then we're also like gaming all in one. And we talk about the gamification of things in our report, which I think is the next tweet we're going to show. And so I think the world of gaming, which, I mean, I'm not a gamer. I used to be a little bit when I was younger, but gaming is massive. I forget how many, there's like is it 2 billion people are gamers?
2.7 billion. 2.7 billion.
Yeah, 2.7 billion people play games around the world. And that's all going to go and start using technologies from Web3. And it's just going to be, I don't know, a whole new world. And I think 5 years from now, when all these big gaming companies really dive into the metaverse and start creating games similar to like Axie Infinity, where they have true ownership and all this kind of stuff, it's going to just, I don't know, it's going to be mind blowing.
The thing I laugh at here, and I don't have kids yet, But when I think about the future is we're going to have a generation who does not understand playing games without ownership and value involved, right? So, we grew up playing video games and we got nothing for it, nothing to show for it. If anything, we actually paid money to own skins and to be able to level up in games, and you're going to have a generation that's going to come up. And that's why I think everybody forgets that, this is happening so fast, and it's easy to lose sight of how natural this will be for the next generation behind us, right? And for the youngers, they will be very used to this, right? Like, oh, you play a game. Oh, I have ownership over this item in the game. Oh, I can transfer it to another game. Yeah, of course I can. Oh, I can sell it and I get value for that. And I'll have a totally different understanding of Web3 naturally because they'll be native to it. Whereas for us, it's going to be, we're going to be the boomers one day. Gosh, hope not. That are left in the dust. So, I think it's exciting to see the future of gaming because it's going to be huge.
I really hope that we're better than the existing boomers right now. No offense to boomers. I mean, my parents are boomers, but man, the boomers that are leaders in our world, they suck. You guys suck. Figure it out. Honestly, what are you doing? Fuck.
So this is a rant for another episode, but tune into Discord. We'll start a boomer channel where we can
all right, guys, we should have probably done this at the beginning of the episode.
We should have teed off with this.
So today, it's been a long time coming for this, but we launched our Web3 report. It is called Web3 Report: Community Growth and Marketing in the New Internet. And basically, this is just a compilation of everything we know and everything possible, and well, not everything possible Web3, but everything that's possible and relevant to an entrepreneur or a creator in Web3. And we put it all into this huge report. I don't know how many pages it is. It's quite long, but it is super, super detailed and will give you a really nice framework and understanding of like what Web3 is, what are the big changes that are going to happen to the internet at a foundational level, and then how can we start to use these tools like NFTs and tokens, et cetera, to make thriving communities, to transform our business models, to organize and structure things better, to market, to grow businesses, et cetera. And we gave a lot of use cases in the real world. So we talked about Reddit and Twitter and Adidas and I think the NFL and Disney and so many others. So this is kind of a compilation of just everything Web3. And when you download the report, you also get access to our Discord, which is where we are filming this episode live. So make sure to check out this report. It's pretty incredible. We're going to film a video, I think, an episode in the next week and just go over it so that you guys can kind of get our inside thoughts on each section. Yeah, you can check out this report in the description below. We'll have it in there, but I think it's report. What is it, Jay? You know
it's report.w3academy.xyz.
Right, there it is.
So check it out. I think the biggest analogy that I keep making here is, when you're young and you show up to a party and you're there first. And you're like, oh, is this going to be a cool party? Like, I don't know. Like, you're not really sure. But because you're there first, maybe you get to talk to a couple people. You get to have a few drinks, and then the party gets going, and you're like the cool guy because like you were there first, right? Like everything's happened around you. You got to scope it out. Like you had the lay of the land. You understood where everyone was and where everyone it was going to flow. Like that's Web3 right now, right? And the only thing that you need to do if you're a business leader or community leader or in government, basically if you're in any organization at whatever level of size or of profit or not for profit, all you got to do is start reading Web3. Like all you got to do is be first to the party and you will benefit massively in ways that you can't predict, because this is a tidal wave that we have not seen before. And you can just look online to see the biggest, brightest minds in the world saying this. All the companies that we mentioned earlier are hiring for this. Like, this tidal wave is coming. And so if you just show up to the party, read this report, read some stuff online, start playing around with your wallet, start trading some NFTs, start trying some things, that's all you got to do. You don't even necessarily need to be the smartest guy at the party or the guy with the best idea. You just got to be there, right? And you'll win because of that.
It's a great analogy. I really like that one. Just gotta be first to the party. That's all. It is a party. That's what Web3 is. It's just a party. Come have fun.
Yeah.
And if you want to have fun, go join the Discord, because that's where all the fun's going to be.
There we go.
Is
That's
that
what
what you were about to say?
I was just gonna plug. So take a look at our report. Our report is it's about 40 pages of real life use cases of people using NFTs, tokens, Metaverse, gaming, what is happening in these areas and how it's leading to growth for businesses. And then the other thing is, after the report, you can join the community, or if you just want to join the community, go for it, because that's where we have a place where you can talk and learn. Like, our objective here and why we started Web3 Academy is this shit is complex. It's confusing. Like, we're at a point right now in Web3 where it takes 25 clicks to do a lot of things. And a lot of people aren't willing to take 25 clicks, right? So let's be clear, it's going to get a lot easier. But if you get involved now and you start tinkering now and start playing around now, and if you start meeting other people that are testing out things, then, you know, that's when the real winners will lead the way.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wrap. That's the last of our news stories here. We probably could have had a lot more, but in light of other news that's going on, we decided to, I think everything's getting overshadowed right now by what's going on in the world. So we'll leave it there, and we'll see you next week. But I guess one other thing just to mention is, if you join the Discord, we do a new members meetup every Monday at 4 p.m. EST. So make sure to join in there. You can kind of get to know the people that are inside the Discord and inside the community. And then we have our first interview next week on Tuesday, where we are interviewing someone who's inside of the Web3 Academy. We call this the Web3 Doer Spotlight. We are going to spotlight a special guest and learn all about her project and what she's doing. And I think it's going to be really, really cool. So check that out in the next episode.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Practice your gratitude. Stay true to the word of the week of hope. Let's hope amongst this time of challenge. We all need hope right now. And if you want to hang out, we're in Discord. Love to see you there.
See you, friends. Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. By the way, if you've yet to join the Discord community, you are missing out. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we learn, where we ask questions, where we network. You want to be in there. The link to join is in the description below. And finally, a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.